now of Shabbos. Okay, the Torah continues really from the story of the last week. Last week, the ended off. The bench was Nitzav Avol Avinu to make the milah, and Rashi says he made it immediately, right? And the third day of the milah, which is the hardest day, is on that day. What do you call it? The Malachim came to Sarah. Okay, so this is the story. That's what day it took place. So let's go into the story itself. Okay, this is three. They come. So he wants to do Hachnos Esochem because he's the Av HaChesed, and therefore he's going to do Hachnos Esochem, which overcomes his limitations. In other words, that's the godless, I think, what the Torah is trying to show, that there's a person really has a rotzen to do something, all of a sudden his limitations disappear. That's the thing. In other words, he's laying in bed, he can't move. That's only when he's kvetching with himself. But if soon as he wants something that's over there, all of a sudden he can get out. Now, how much does it take to want something over there? That's a question. But we see by Avram Chesed was enough to get him to be able to jump out of bed, and so on and thing there. Okay. What he calls, and he goes out there and he asks them to wash their feet, because this is important. I think Rashi mentions it over here that Loit did not say that in the little Vaita. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the Masechtas Ktanis, what's on it, but that Loit did not do such a thing. Okay, but Avram did it, and told him to why he doesn't let people into his house that don't wash their feet. That means he's going to tell you, sorry, fellow. That means he's going to stop being machnasarach to them. He's just going to do it in the street. In my house, you don't come in. Now, would you want to bring in the Avodah Zarah? I'm sorry, I don't have Avodah Zarah in my house, but there's a nice yard out there. We have a nice picnic table. You can sit down over there. We'll bring you out whatever you want. But we're not going to let you in the house. Okay? And that's not necessarily considered cruel. There's no chiyuv, I have to let you into my house. Now, so the person has to learn, and that's chidukim, and when he does chesed, and there's a danger to the person affecting other people in the thing there, that is not a chesochen in you, and you're showing love. Because I have this problem sometimes. Obviously it's not completely the same, but the idea is there are shittas out there that you're mechuyev to love your kids. I have no complaints of loving your kid. It's a natural thing, and I assume that people love their kids. But the shaila is, am I mechuyev to leave Mechal Shabbos in my mechuyev I'm mechuyev in my house, because I can't throw my kid out, so she can walk around with her mini skirt in my house. The guy doesn't get up to davening in my house. I have other kids in my house. It's not the only kid I have in my house. I have responsibilities for them. How am I supposed to be able to teach them? And them I yell, get up. Listen, him I don't wake up, unless it doesn't, obviously it's not going to work very good, right? So I kind of that he has a way of approaching his child is by saying, look, I love you, terrific, but I want you to know I'm paying for your food, I'm paying for your rent, and I'm paying for keeping you of your clothes. I support you. Your job to get supported is 9 o'clock on Shabbos, you're out of this house. And you don't turn back until 11 o'clock, 11:30 on Shabbos, you don't come back. And when you come back, you sit down at the table with wearing a suit and stuff like that, and then that's the price of being in this house. And I don't want to hear things. The same thing with the kid that wears these clothes you don't wear in this house. That's all. That's the price. You want to stay here, I love you, that's the price. There's nothing wrong with having a price. And the same, that doesn't mean I don't love you. Of course I love you. But I can't help you killing my other kids. The thing okay. Have some bread. Okay. So he offers the bread right away, right? Now you'll say, okay, bread. Okay, it depends on the things. I once read, I have no idea, in the Middle Ages, what was breakfast? Stale bread soaked in beer or ale, whatever it was there. And that was, people ate it with relish and you went to work after that. And stuff like that. And sugar, that's what you got for breakfast. I want scrambled eggs, I want French toast, I want this, don't give me a piece of stale bread and stuff like that, but that's what the breakfast is. So, Lechel pas lechem doesn't necessarily mean a piece of cake, but it could be a piece of cake too. You want to have breakfast, I'm going for Danish and coffee. Okay, so there's obviously I need something some solid in my thing there. It doesn't have to be something that doesn't have a good taste. It can have something that has a good taste. Okay, that's what he offered. And then you go. VaYeira came tasses. So go do it. Okay. And he goes and he asks for baked bread. I don't know. I watched them bake bread in the house. Now, the actual baking of bread is it's not a long time. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I don't know, something like that. But for the bread to rise is a couple hours. And that, to get the thing in and to become a bread, you want to give a matzah? Okay, that's a different story. That's 5 minutes. But if you're talking about making a thing there, so you can tie them maybe, nasa ugas, seems rolls. Maybe it means latkes. Okay, maybe latkes is, it takes only 2 minutes, latkes. I mean, whatever it is, it's a thin thing, you put it in the frying pan. It could be, I don't know what it means, but whatever it means, it's something made out of grain. That's the main thing over there, okay? So, if someone comes into your house, what do you offer them? Like a drink? Want something hot, cold? Tea, coffee, right? Once upon a time they give you schlaps. I don't think that. If you're a redneck, you give them a beer, right? Well, everyone's entitled to a drink. You want something to eat? Want some cake? Who doesn't have some cake in the house? Cookies, something else, some crackers. Something you have in the house, right? Okay. He don't have nothing in his house. This is the Baal Chesed, you understand? Okay. We'll go weiter. Now he's going to do a real big thing for them, right? He's going to do my thing. He went to the Boker, and he's going to offer them meat. Okay, how long is it going to take them to make meat? Now, if you would tell me he's offering them tongue, like Rashi brings down, why 3, you need tongue for everyone, something there. I can understand speed. Shchita takes, okay, that's finished. Even though I think they get them up there or get them down in a position that you can shecht, whatever it is there, it's not going to be that simple. But assuming, but it's fuck, the mice is a short one. And then I pull out the tongue, I chop it off, right? And I pull out, I got a tray with one thing, I think, in the tongue and in there, and I go throw it on a fire. 15 minutes later, you'll have food. Oh, so then I understand what he's offered tongue, right? Because it's the fastest things he can prepare. Oh, well, if you're offering tongue because it's the best part, like Rashi says, that's why I wanted to give anyone. So I asked a bunch of kids here this week. So I asked them, how many don't like tongue? I got a lot of answers that don't like tongue. And I remember There was always kids that didn't like tongue. I got to like tongue. But there was guys that didn't like. Why didn't they like tongue? Because their picture was that the tongue licks the dirt from the floor. And how am I going to eat that? That was what Tarab said. They don't understand that we clean it and we peel it and nothing down there. Like just the picture of a tongue, that was a horrible thing to them. So they don't want to eat tongue. So obviously he's only offered them tongue. I'm sure he offered them a steak too if they want instead of tongue. Right? Let's think there. So let's see what it takes to make it. He's got to treber it. Right? From the Giranoshe, from Chalef, right? He's got to salt it, bake it. You say you make it on a fire, immediately you don't need it. It's tzli, you don't need any salting and no baking. But it could be that's the way he made it, but let's say I want a boiled meat. I'm an old man, I can't eat that dried meat that you made. I want it cooked in the thing there. So then I have to salt it and I have to bake it. And I have to, cook it and whatever it is. You're talking about 5, 6, 7 hours. The skinning, once I thought till I learned that skinning is very fast. I learned that in the camp. I didn't know that the skin peels off. The whole skin peels off. You get the whole pelt at one shot. It's not a thing that you have to cut off pieces by pieces to skin it like a fruit and stuff. That's not how you peel it. An animal just peels off. So once it peels off, so that didn't take too long. But the baking and the kashering, that takes hours, and the cooking, that takes hours. So what am I offering them when they come to my house? I'm offering you meat. What's the yichus of it? Okay, let's go weiter. Okay, so therefore the medrash that Moshe Rabbeinu beat the malachim, it says you ate possible cholov and stuff like that. I just think that the medrash means that since the posik mentions it together, it looks like it don't apply to you. But obviously, Avram Avinu didn't pretend such a thing to them. In other words, because first of all, the stuff wasn't ready. And if he's holding off a drink, eichet until that time, then you're really up at the creek. What am I, I can't even give you a cold drink. I'm ready to give you the food. So that's going to be hours and hours. I don't give you the soda until it comes with the main dish. I mean, the sugar. And that's what it says over here, right? The book of Avram, VaYeira, so that just the point to point out. That's Naras, he says to Shmuel. That means of all the avodim, of all the people that were gemald on that day, only one other person was able to work with Avram. That means they was able to overcome. That's where they have that chesed that belongs to them. When they do chesed, is that they were able to overcome their pain to be able to work with Avram. Okay, v'yaseh so he said, v'yikach chemra v'cholav, u'ben haboker asher osa, took milk and cream and the meat. So that means he didn't give him anything. Okay, so at one time, obviously, he offered, when they first came, he gave off them the milk and the cream. Then a few hours later, he offered them the meat. Okay, which is good. Or 15 minutes later, doesn't make a difference. Or a half hour later. So then it goes off the whole Maisa with the Malachim. That's what I'm saying. That's not true. The whole story doesn't make a difference. But it seems from the Pasuk that he brought it together. So therefore, that's why he said it doesn't apply to you. Okay. Kashi is, did you ever drink sweet cream? Just interesting. Did you ever drink it? Now, I can tell you how Cholov Yisrael used to be years ago. If you were in the country, you couldn't buy the Cholov Yisrael, so you went to a farm. And on the farm, you bought a bunch of milk, and it came with the cream. And the cream was approximately a third of the milk. And from that, you would pour off a certain amount of the cream, and we'd make butter out of it, and we'd make cheese out of it. And that was the thing over there. That I remember, okay, as a kid. So that's what you do from the cream. So, but I don't drink it. What? He gave him ice cream. Now I understand. Okay. So he gave him something to eat and drink. Drink is some milk, because that's what I live on now, milk and ice cream. So I can tell you that it tastes very good, and ice cream just fills you up, and milk you can make it, drink it as something for drinking, it's good. Okay. That's the thing. Okay. Okay. And he was Mishalister. The Shaila is, we're talking about the Ava Chesed, right? The Ava Chesed, you would think that in order to do Chesed, VaYeira, he has nothing in the house. He has to first get ready now with, with all these problems. It doesn't make sense. So I'll give you two scenarios. One guy, let's say, Chavrusa, pair guys, one guy goes to Eretz Yisrael, the other guy stays here. The guy went to Eretz Yisrael, gets married there, lives there, and he doesn't see him for 10 years. One day he's davening in shul, and all of a sudden his friend is there. What are you doing here? He says, I had to take care of something for my parents. They needed me here, so I came in. What are you doing for breakfast? I'll go to the pizza store, I'll get myself a Danish and coffee. No, you can't do that. You came here, I haven't seen you in 10 years. You got to come up to the house and we got to verbringen for something there. Okay, I'll come up to the house. I'll give the moshel, happens to be a Sunday for off Shabbos. Okay, I need the son and the daughter too. So he runs so he wakes up his wife. She's just not working today, that's what. Wakes up his wife and he says, my friend who's I haven't seen in over 10 years, he's here, and you got to get up and make something fancy. Make latkes, make good latkes, make French toast for breakfast. Okay, good. Then he wakes up the kid for the 8:30 minyan, and he tells him, you're off to Shabbos, but I want you, as soon as the minyan is over, you go to the appetizing store. I want you to buy every kind of bagel they got, all kinds of fish that we get, and what he called, and bring it up there and think that's so good. So you can do that. Okay, then he finishes eating, and he's ate a lot more than the Danish and coffee, right? And a lot more. He had bagels and lox and all these kinds of things there. So he says, even though you ate a lot more than you would have intended to as yourself, I know we didn't, but we did it with a rush. We don't feel that we're mechabed you properly. So please come for supper or come for lunch. My wife is making a special pot roast that she makes, or whatever it is there, and you never tasted anything like it, and it'll be fantastic, so do whatever it is. Okay. That's story number one. Story number two, we used to have it on the east side. People used to go to Beth Israel Hospital. Why? Because it was a kosher hospital. So they used to go to Beth Israel. So they have to come in on Shabbos. You can't bring any food with you. But they walk down, it was about a mile and a half from MTJ. So they would come down to the yeshiva, to daven, and they'd also get a meal. They didn't take anything with them. So they would ask who would have some extra food, that would be able to feed a guy. So they'd say, go to Yankel. Whoever Yankel was, I'm just picking a name. He goes to Yankel, and they bring out 5 appetizers, a choice of 5 appetizers, 5 types of fish. And what I can count them for you. It was carp, salmon, whitefish, filter fish, and some fried fish. right? And then you have 5 kinds, and then these are things that everybody has usually. So, 5 kinds of meat, 3 types of soups. They have chicken soup, or vegetable soup, and nothing other than white soup. 5 kinds of meats, chops, bottoms, turkey, some veal, some beef, some lambs. I got 6 already. Okay, I got anything there. How many kugelin I got there, and desserts up to like 10 pies or whatever they have there. Both people go and tell their wife about what happened to them when they met the thing. The first guy will say, they didn't know what to do for me. They just kept putting everything, kept buying me, the thing. They didn't know what to do for me. The second guy says, they eat good in that house. He didn't say they did anything for me, because they didn't do anything for you. Everything was made for the people of the house. Baruch Hashem, there's enough to feed me too. And I was none from it, but they didn't make anything for me. Which guy feels more mechubed? The first guy or the second guy? Obviously the first guy. So the idea is, Avram wanted, you're right, I could have food for you. And he did. They had 2 types of houses, I'll tell you that in a minute. It could have been normal to have stuff. For that I have the milk and the ice cream, like I said. That's for you to not be hungry. And by that time, we'll have a meal already going, working for the latkes will be out, this will be out, whatever else there, and the thing there. And then we'll keep feeding you the whole day. And that's because I made it for you. It's not because I had it in the house, and therefore you partook of it, because I got nothing else to do with it anyway but to give it to you. So might as well you instead of throwing it in the garbage. So that's that. I made it for you. You're choshev enough to me that I made it for you. That gave the guy feeling that he's important. I think that was what Avram wanted to accomplish. Okay. So that's the mind of Avram, of chesed, not stocker, chesed. And we talk about it in the Musafim when we bring 2 par on Pesach and Shavuos, and Rosh Hashanah and Rosh Chodesh, we bring 2 par Zeicher L'Avram. Right? So the Rosh Hashanah they should either have 3 or 1. If it meant Toiv means 3, right? So then you need 3 oxen. So and if it means the Kipshute, the Posik, you need 1 ox. So why 2? So I'm saying there's 2 you say this. One is the guy eats, he's stocker, he's also chesed, how I gave you to eat. And to understand that's the very point, that you make the guy feel he's doing you a favor, then automatically there's no bezoin in it. I'll give you a mashal. We had this in the yeshiva actually, in the first years that we were in this building. So this was not a Jewish neighborhood. And came Purim, and we were here for Purim, and the Shiloh, what do you do about Matanas Levyonim? No poor people came here because there's no one there to come for anything. They got better people, places to go out for them, where they get a lot more money in the coming years. So no one's coming here. What are we going to do? So there was one guy in the Kollel that everyone felt he's probably royal to give it to, but he wouldn't take it. So I landed up and talked to him. So I asked him, I said, before that, are you halachically able to be mekabel matanos l'pyanim? He says, yeah. So I said, and you don't want to because there's, you don't want to have to suck it, right? Let me ask you, but the chesed, these guys won't be able to be kind of the mitzvah except if you take the money. If you don't take the money, you don't get the mitzvah. So Poshe, do them a chesed, and let them do kind of the mitzvah. that he took the money. Right? Because all of a sudden, I'm doing you a favor. So it's not a pizzayin anymore. That was the thing. That's right. Okay. Then they say to him, after they got the food and everything, they says to him, where's your wife Sarah? And she hears by the road, and we go into the whole misunderstanding, whatever it is, whatever pshat is. Okay? I got one big kasha on the thing. You know, do you think, we just said, in the beginning we said, when did he make the milah? As soon as God told him to make the milah. This is the third day of the milah. That means he's suffering the whole time. Right? Now's the worst, but he definitely didn't change the mailbox. Right? Did he tell her that her name is Sarah? I don't know. When was he going to tell her? I didn't even see her. I'm laying in bed the whole time. So how am I know my name is Sarah? So the first thing Sarah should have thought is some wrong address. Well, we got the wrong place. I told my name is Sarah, not Sarah. It's the first thing. Okay. Even saying that he did tell her, right? But he didn't tell the neighborhood. So if somebody came and says, where's your wife Sarah, we automatically know that he's not a person anymore, he's a malach. So they knew he was a malachim over here, right? But the thing is, we knew it after they ate, or after supposedly they ate. So that's why the answer is why he didn't. Shaila then becomes, why did they walk him? They baglate them. Why? So Rashi says that they look like people. So that doesn't mean they look like people. That's chas v'chalila. They knew they were malachim. So why'd you go for? Because since they appear as people, people shouldn't see that people, we didn't baglate people. That's what it means. Not that they look like people, so therefore we thought they were people. Well, we know they were malachim already. Because at that point, we knew they yes, we say sorry. Okay. Then she saw Shemas, Pesach oil, and she didn't have any more of the thing. But Afal Pikain, she says, V'adoni Zoki. What's Adoni Zoki? You know you're old. Him, you think he's old? When you die, and how many years later you're going to die? After the Akedah. That's 37, 38 years. You got to be a year till he's born, and then 37 years till he's the Akedah. You're 38 years from now. He's going to marry a woman called Keturah, and he's going to have 6 kids. That's a very funny thing. So he's going to be around 6, like so it took 6 years, or 5 years, whatever it took like. So 6 and 38 is 44 years. I mean, what's the Slema cup? In 44 years he still has kids, and you call him Adoni Zokin? It's louse, you don't know. I mean, and I assume if anyone can know, maybe the woman can know. That I don't know. I don't know if she can or not, if that was Yerkachetz or not, that I can't answer. But Lamaisa, and if anyone, but she definitely knows he's not a weakling. And and there is a test in the thing that you stand on one foot and tie your shoe on the other foot, so then you're still a young man. And there's more. So we can do that. So I assume he was able to do that. Okay, so why is she bending an Adoni Zoki? So I come up with this theory. Okay, first of all, as I say, how did she know anything took place, and how did her name was solved, and all these things? These are the questions we had. So we know from the fact that by the certain things that Nevi'im Machayiv Misa for. The one, if they say over something that was not mitzvah for them to say, Chayiv Misa. So who gives them hasroya for that? Echov HaNevi'im. That means all the Nevi'im, at least in that madrega, there's 10 degrees of Levua, I believe that works like a antenna, that whatever madrega you're at, that's madrega, wherever the Levua comes out at that level, that's what you'll hear. So if it's Pe'el Peh, only Moshe Rabbeinu was Pe'el Peh. So therefore you're not in that madrega. So nobody else heard except Moshe. As you go to the next madrega, there's 50 people like that, all 50 will hear. You go down to the next madrega, if it goes to Ruach HaKodesh, there's 1,000,000 people that will hear. And then there's 1,000,000 people that will know. Okay. Who is a bigger Navi, Avram or Sorah? So the Gemara says Sorah was a bigger Navi than he was. Shema B'Koila, right? So therefore, so she's bigger. So whatever was told to Avram, Sorah heard. So she heard the whole discussion. So she knows her name is Sorah. She knows this. She knows all these things. Did Avram tell it to me? I heard it from God. That's irrelevant. So she knows her name. So she didn't think, that these are only people, not things. That's first of all. As far as but she also heard him say, "Lu yishmoel yichil fanecha." Now I don't know if a Navi can hear the Navi talking, because he can hear the Benishim talking, but can you hear the Navi talking? That I don't know. That these guys 10 miles away. How am I supposed to hear him? So maybe she didn't hear that, but he said, but the Benishim said, "Lishmoel shmaticha." So obviously she heard that he's trying to tell him something, that you asked for something for Yishmael. So if you think Yishmael, who's in the madrege of Esel or Kim, as Halach, and now the Benishim told you is Halach Lefonai, that he can just graduate to that madrege, then you're missing the boat. Because I know Yishmael, he's my kid, I'm raising him. Right, so I know what Yishmael is capable of. He's not capable for his halach l'fonai. He's only going to do what he has to do, whatever it is then, which is actually we proved to him by the milah, that he didn't want to do the priya and stuff like, even though Avram did it, but he wouldn't do it. So I'm not mitzvah, I'm not mitzvah. So therefore she said, Adoni Zokin. What does that mean? Why Adoni Zokin? The Gemara says, this person's supposed to have kids when he's young and old. So, and why? Because you don't know which one will be more kosher. Or maybe they'll both be good. What does that mean? Tell me Piriya V'Revi, I understand. You're not telling me Piriya V'Revi, you tell me I can raise them as a good kids. And maybe I can even get you don't know which one was a better time. So I tell what that means is this. You raise your children differently. When you're young and you gave birth, let's see, in the 20s, so I still play ball with them, take them for hikes, I teach them how to ride a bike, I help them build the sukkah. I mean, I can give you the physical things too. It's a physical relationship. It's one type. So the kid is, you have the guy, the battle, who likes to do physical, so he's going to be great. You got the masmid there. Leave me alone, Dad. I want to sit and learn. Don't tell me to go to the store now and buy for Shabbos. I'm not interested at all about the sukkah now. I'm learning. I'm helping him in the sukkah. That's the wrong guy. He ain't going to make it over there. Right? There's going to be a big fight, him and the father. And the kid, when he's an old man, what does he do? He can't do any of these things, so he sits and learns with the kid. So if he gets the masmid in the early years and the battle in the later years, both are no good. If he switches around, both will be good, right? And stuff like that. And if it's a switch or whatever it is, one and one, so then one will be good and one won't be good. But that basically, you have to pry the kid the way he does. Not the way you want him done, the way he thinks and stuff like that. So therefore, See, time is Adonizokim. He can't do it. If he's thinking that the way he raised Yishmael, he did a good job with Yishmael, but he raised him as a little kid. He can't change him into something else. He's not ready. He thinks, all of us, he doesn't understand that that's what God wants from him, so he can't do the job. That's what he's Adonizokim. On the other hand, the Rabbeinu Shalom, we learn here that you're mutter to lie for Shalom. The thing over here. Why he told him? Why did she say Anitzo Kanti? I mean, if you understand Donizokim, because he may be upset in that he's thinking that I don't have the right hashkafas. Think that I'm too old. What will be the kasha on that? You know, myself think my husband is old. He can't do the walacha. I know I can lift. I can still bench press 400 pounds, right? But my wife don't know that. What does she know? So therefore I'm going to be insulted. She thinks I'm not as strong as I used to be. But if you think I don't have the ashkafas to do it, then I'm going to be pretty insulted. I mean, that over there. Okay, so therefore, Anizu Kanti. Ayipoli Hashem Dover. This is the ikil that we have to know, that the Rebbeinu Shem runs the world with total control. There's nothing shaykh that he can't do, even though he only works with Mother Nature. That's how you say it. Okay, you're going to have a kid. Then comes along, but Chachi Sora Belema Loy Tochak, I didn't love, I didn't laugh, Ki Yoreir. And Vayeira Loy Ki Tochak, the shaykh is who actually said that, the Rebbeinu Shem said it or not, on the Avram. It goes on the Madrei that the one that the Rebbeinu Shem said it is he wanted a chance to speak to Sarah. Right? Now a lot of people tell it that he don't talk to women. Right? He don't talk to women, so therefore he wanted a chance to talk to Sarah because Sarah's a special woman. Okay, it's not true. Why is it not true? Because it says he don't talk to men either. The end of Parshas Nosai, and it says in Fevrish over there that the Rebbeinu Shalom says Loshin, he speaks to himself. God never speaks to a Navi. He speaks to himself, and the Navi hears. That's the only thing. La halacha. Now this has not a raya from here. That I don't know, but this is la halacha. Someone who wears hearing aids, if he wears it on Shabbos, the Yisrael's not on the guy wearing it, the Yisrael's on the guy speaking to him, because he's the one that makes the hearing aid fluctuate in the thing over there. So I can't talk in a room where there's a guy with hearing aids. So the Yeshiva Paskin that I can talk in such a room, where I talk to where everybody could hear. There's nobody here in the room except the guy, except the deaf guy's person. But I'm speaking that if there would be other people here and they would hear, then it's mutter to talk to him. If I whisper in his ear, it's also the thing over there. And that's the same thing what I'm saying, that I'm speaking to everyone. But there's no one else here. That's only mean he's speaking to everyone. But meaning if there were other people, they would hear. That's called speaking to everyone. Okay, so that's what he did over here. Okay, so he doesn't talk to anyone, doesn't talk to women either, or to men either. So what's the pshat is that so just talking about to a Navi, he felt Sarah was so important to talk to that even to men, more than men, he doesn't talk to men either, but he wanted to talk to Sarah. So I said, why would he want to talk to Sarah? Pardon me. So I think because you look at the end of Noach, where it talks about that Sarah, and Avram, they're both, she's a daughter of Noach, she's a niece of Avram, right? She's Yiska, right? But what does it say? Never's miyachas Sarah to Terach. Avram's miyachas to Terach. It says, Vayikach Terach es Avram benoi. So we know he's his father, pretty clear. Ve'es Loit ben Choram ben Benoi, and his grandson Loit. Ve'sorai Kalosai, and his daughter-in-law Sorai. What do you mean his daughter-in-law? It's his granddaughter. No, he's taking his daughter-in-law. How do we know that she's Nocha's thing? We say Eishes Nocha, V'shem Eishes Nocha, Milka Bas Choron, Avi Milka Avi Yiska. Who's Yiska? Yiska Sarah. But it doesn't say, it says she's Yiska when it talks about Nocha. It doesn't say Sarah is the daughter of Nocha. It says Yiska is the daughter of Nocha. Sarah is not. Sarah is such a special person that she's reinvented somehow herself, that she's so tall that we don't even know where she comes from. On the other hand, Avram, we do have it. So therefore, that's why he wanted to talk to her, because that's that specialty that she had. Okay. Then he wants to talk about Sdoim. He wants us to explain. Now, Sdoim is an interesting thing. We said in last week that B'nai Anshi Sdoim Royim v'chatoim l'Hashem ma'oid, and Rashi says over there, why is it ma'oid? Sheyodu is Beiram. They know who created them, who molded them, and they revolted against them. Now, if you really know who God is, you don't revolt against him. Let's be realistic. I mean, you know he can knock me out, so therefore I'm not going to do anything else against him. For instance, I'll give you. The kids play, they twist the guy's hand behind his back and they start lifting it up and he says, say uncle, right? And the guy refuses to say uncle. So he goes a little higher on the thing and it hurts him and the kid goes, oh, right? Say uncle. No, not going to say uncle. Why is he stubborn? He's going to break your arm. Nah, he isn't. He's shaking to break my arm. So just the question is, who's going to give up first, me or him? That's the thing there. What happens if I know the guy's going to break my arm? So of course I'm going to say uncle. I'll say it right away. I don't even let him touch my hand, on my back, because obviously I don't want any pain. Why should I have any pain, right? So the same thing over here. If you know who God is, you don't revolt against him. See? So we're going into the type of revolt. Doesn't mean revolt. It means they're improving humanity. And they think that, we're suffering from that. That's the point I'm bringing in, that we live with Anshe Sdoim now, not in that time. But how do you improve humanity? So it says that in Parshas Nitzavim, it talks that when a person is going to hear these klolos, that means he's going to hear the teichacha, he's going to say, Shalom Yili, ki b'shriras libi elech. Right? The man tzveis rovas hatzmeya. So the Shiva asked, how is it possible? The guy hears the teichacha, and he says, nothing's going to happen to me because I'm going to do what I want. You're nuts. Right? I mean, I just told you what's going to happen to you if you don't listen to me. And then it tells which Averis, and then afterwards he goes into Sreifa Koral, so I'm going to make it if you don't listen, I'm going to make it like Zloim HaMeira. So obviously he's comparing them to Zloim HaMeira. What is the problem of one of the Averis of Sreifa Rovas HaTzmeya is Marsa Aveda to a guy. Right? We find the guy. Now, there are times you can make it a Kiddush Hashem with that. There are times there was actually stories like that. They gave back a guy, found the kid, the Shiva boys found it, gave back, and the big was in the papers, the big things of honesty and stuff like that. But the din is, you're allowed to keep it. I learned what's the difference because a person, a Jew has a din of Hashgacha Pratis, so there's different punishments to him. So he can want to lose the thing forever, he can lose the thing for a week, for a month, so there's din of Hashemus Aveda. A goy doesn't have that. So all he has is finders, keepers, losers, weepers. In other words, possession is 9/10 of the law. That's what he has. And when I have it, it's mine. I don't have it, it's not mine. You'll say the Jew doesn't have to. We also have such cases there. Why? If a guy steals something from you, neither one can be Mekadesh it, זה מפני שאין שלוי וזה מפני שאין ברשוסי. So obviously not having possession of it means that it's not yours. I mean, but there is a din of hashavas aveda, even though it's technically I can't be makdish anymore. But the guy doesn't even have that. So if a person, when he wants to make a Kiddush Hashem by returning this thing, you know you don't have to return it, the money is yours. You want to make a Kiddush Hashem and give it to a guy, gesundheit, and I'll give you for that, oh boy, how much olam haba am I going to give you for that? Oh, but it's your money that you're spending. Don't think easy come, easy go. In other words, it's not mine anyway. That's wrong. That means that you feel you're better than the Jew. God is discriminating against Goyim, and therefore he don't like Goyim, so therefore we don't have to give it back. But I'm more fair than he is, so therefore I'm going to give it back. That's Doim. Same thing goes, women are potter for certain mitzvahs, right? So we want to do a mitzvah, individuals, as what do you call it, as any mitzvah v'yoiseg gesundheit. You had Michal Vashor wore tefillin, you had the Rabbam Goyim's daughters wore tzitzis, VaYeira Neviah knew ganz kol HaTorah kula, she learned. Whatever it is there, you have plenty of people that did mitzvahs, women that did mitzvahs that belonged to men, but they were individuals. There's not a thing there. But to open up the woman's kailo, that's something that's baloney, okay? And the thing there. So I was once at a chas, and it's interesting, and they had a very long head table. Not head, it was by the chos's tish, but a long one. I figure they have a lot of rabbis, so they have to have a very long one. So I was sitting there, but I was sitting at the end. It's safer over there, usually in the middle. Okay, all of a sudden, and on the other side was some family members, and one guy walks in with a checkered shirt, no tie, nothing there, but he's one of the family. And everyone welcomes him like, you're here? And he immediately started attacking him about the equality of women with learning Torah and all this Gemara and stuff like that. And I'm trying to stay out of this argument that they were fighting over there by, just trying to move away as far as I can without making a big issue of it. But, they were fighting right in front of me. And I was afraid that they finally asked me the question, I was afraid, what do you say about this? Okay, so what do you say? Okay. So I said, I don't want to get involved in it until the women on the Kabbalah on themselves, the Issa Bittul Torah. That if you want to talk to one learn Torah, my pleasure. But you have to be Kabbalah, the Issa Bittul Torah too. Now, the man's learns Torah, but he has Bittul Torah. If you want to get to Torah without Bittul Torah, that don't work so good. That I don't think it's fair to the men, whatever it is. But anyway, so why did he attack? So why is Doim? Because Doim, in the end, he's going to destroy them himself. Because people may think it's good. In the book, I think we have the 9 stories there. I think the 9 stories, I think. So there's 9, that's like the Gemara's bringing. We take them all apart in a few lines, but they're not a little bit to understand that is that people can think it's better the way Doim wants it. One, the biggest one is equality. What do I mean equality? What do you have equality? They have the bed. And Doim, they had a bed. They used to make the guy lay down on it. If his feet were too big, they chopped him off. And if he was too small, they stretched him until he fit in the bed. What are you guys, nuts? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. That the world wouldn't tolerate it. What they meant is nobody stands out in our country. Everybody's the same. Everybody's what? A DEI, if you want to put it that way. DEI, whatever it was there. Okay, so that's basically, no one stands out. That's Doim. Now, I made the people different because I want different things from different people. You want to make them all the same. You want the same from them. It doesn't work that way. Okay, That was one of them. One was Stucker. Now, it always bothered me, the story of the Stucker. Well, the story of Light's daughter killed, putting her in the honey, and they have all the bees come and bite her up and kill her because she gave Stucker, gave a piece of bread to a poor man. So they don't want to give Stucker. So why do all of a sudden? So what did it say? How do they give Stucker? It says they used to give, a poor person would come, they'd give him a golden coin with their name on it, and after he got the Stucker, nobody would sell him any food, and therefore he would die of hunger anyway. And then when he died, everyone came and collected the coin. So if we believe that way, that we do want to give tzedakah, I would have thought if we're anti-tzedakah, if I was an anti-tzedakahnik, I would probably like to give a speech. Now, there's guys coming to me to ask me for tzedakah, but I'm against tzedakah. I'm against people who are begging, right? I call a parasite. You're a gosling. You're taking money food out of my kid's mouth. You're taking away my work that I put in, and this thing, you're trying to take my money away from me and stuff like that. I would have given Musa for an hour. Why do you think there? I wouldn't just give him a gold coin. And then I feel a lot better, more justified in what I did. So, right? I mean, why would anybody do it the other way? Right? Elavos, what do you call it? So that's what I hear. So they really want to do tzedakah. But their system is that we don't work on July 4th. It's not New York City, where we do work on July 4th. You're in the country. Everybody's a patriot. We all close our stores. We all go watch the parade. And we bring our special chairs to watch them. Maybe you should watch them up there. They really go down. It's a whole big deal to go out. And then the guy thinks, should I open up this week? Doesn't pay. I'm going to have to close up on Monday. July 4th is Tuesday. So I'm going to close Monday. One day, then open up again. The thing there, then I'll take the week off. Okay, so it's July 4th. And because it's July 4th, nobody's going to the stores. A guy comes, the chiyuv of tzedakah, the real chiyuv is deimach soyrei, right? You have to give him whatever he needs. And therefore, somebody comes knocking on my door at 12 o'clock at night, assuming that I'm not afraid to open the door, or I can open up the thing and see that's a fumiyil on the other side or something like that, and I'd ask him, what do you need? I'm hungry. So what are you going to do? You're going to have to make him a meal. He's hungry. It's 12 o'clock at night. What difference does it make what time it is? The guy's hungry. You got to give him food. Okay. If he came 5 o'clock at night, I would have said, here's $50. The restaurant is open. Go over to the restaurant. You get everything you want. But now there's no restaurant. So I got to feed him myself. But Zayim said if that was the responsibility, people aren't going to give tzedakah. You made it too hard. Just let him write a check, that's enough. So the son guy writes a check. He gave him the gold coin. Gold coin is not cashable. He has to buy something that's valuable. The guy doesn't even have change for a gold coin. So he doesn't have anything to give it to. And I gave it to him, and there's no restaurant that's open now. So for a week, he's going to starve. It doesn't have to happen every day. We don't sell them. Just once that it happens like that, that's enough to make it, or make it that it doesn't work, the system. The title system works all the time. But they must say that. We did apply to long grade in New York City. They used to have the welfare hotels. And unfortunately, a lot of Fumiyim were involved in those hotels in those years. What was a welfare hotel? There's a law in the city, I think the law still exists, that if a guy gets burnt out or he has to leave his apartment, the city must supply you with a place to live. And if they can't supply you with an apartment, you got to pay for you in a hotel. Like you had the migrant hotels now. Like they paint over there. The migrant don't pay for it. Who pays for it? The city pays for it. So the place at that time was $100 a room, and in a room I think was 6 people that were getting into a room, parents and 4 kids. Okay. That means for a year staying in there would be $36,500. I have to keep them for up to a year. So it's $36,500 for a guy. In those years, as we're talking about the 50s and the 60s, if you would have given me $25,000, I wouldn't have need anything from you. I would I'd be able to eat, live my own apartment, make my own food and so on. But you're spending $36,500. Besides that, you're also giving me a food allowance. But in this hotel, since it's any dumpy building, so you couldn't cook in the hotel. So you had to go outside, and who would even want to be in the hotel? Because the lobby was full of dope addicts and Zionists. So, I'd have to hide in my own apartment there, my own room up there. But we can eat in McDonald's. McDonald's had the dollar menu years ago. So for 6 people, 3 times a day, we'll eat breakfast 3 times a day. That's $18 a day, right? And we get the about $250, $260 they gave for a month, right? For 6 people. So around the 50, about the 18th of the month, or somewhere around there, we're broke. So you come back to the welfare of the people and say, I need money, I'm starving. And so they make a cheshbon, we just paid for you $36,500 this, and we gave you this, and we give you some clothing allowance, and stuff like that, because you got over $40,000-$50,000 already, so we can't give you any more. So the system don't work. You starve, you're doing very nice, you give me an apartment, you give me a room, but what kind of room did you give me, and what did you give me? You're not saving me, you're killing me with it. That's time. Now, I'm giving you the coin. I'm potter now. I did what I had to do. You can't spend it, you can't do it, that's your problem. That's not my problem, so you'll die. So you'll die, it's a big deal. That's nothing to do me. That's Zdoim. That's what the evil of Zdoim is. What the evil that, you would think that, there was much more evil people than Zdoim was. I would say Hitler, I think, was more evil, as far as to Yidden for sure. It was more evil. You didn't find the God go out and specially kill them. He killed them, but the Allies won the war and this and that. But you don't find that God sent down Gofros for Melech to them out there. So why did he put on poor Zdoim? Zdoim didn't do nothing. They did little things. But Zdoim's hashkofim people may think is right. And therefore we have to kill it. A person might say, by Hitler, everybody knows he's wrong. So if he does it, as long as he's strong, some people will be ahead of everyone. But the people won't be fooled into it. That was the point of Hitler. About what you call it. That's why they're more dangerous. What do you call it? And that's now, I don't know about the new mayor and all that thing. They're going to have these shitas too. Well, we don't know what the shitas are. We'll find out what God has in plans for us, and stuff like that. But obviously, what we heard about him, there's a chash, but he's supposedly coming out to the world. The whole world, the Jews are no good, right? The sympathy to Hamas is a lot bigger now than it was before. So, what's going on? You guys don't recognize what Lotzeach is? Of course we recognize it. But we happen to love these guys and hate these guys. So therefore, we automatically have a different uptight of what good and bad is. And that's the problem that we have. And that's Zdoim. That's the thing there. So therefore, they're very dangerous because it's Zdoim. Like this is not the thing. And you see it also in Pirkei Avos puts it out very stark. He puts it on that, not in communism, he puts it out with mine and yours. Right? Zeh shali, shali, shaloch, shaloch. Right? Zeh mi lebenunis. Hashem, zeh mi Zdoim. What's Zdoim got to do with benus? One guy says it's a regular people, one guy says it's Zdoim. No, that don't have anything to do with you. Leave me alone. I don't have no, you stay where you are, I stay where I am. I have no problem with you. That is my Zdoim. I don't care about people. I don't want to be involved with people. And the thing there, that's my Zdoim. And that's a point that we have to understand, that the people preach all new ideas and also socialist ideas. But are they good or bad? That's something that we have to work on. And I think that's the part that the Torah warns about stuff. Guten Shabbos, guten Shabbos. Shabbos. Have a good trip back. Shabbos.
Und erste Schiebe. Nur ein Film. Und erste Schiebe.